extremely uncomfortable this morning. No, my elastic went out in my underwear last night. I only got 3 pairs of underwear.
Okay, I'll tell you what.
And
listen.
I'm wearing my boys' underwear. My boys are 13 and 16, and I'm wearing their underwear right now. So it's almost like, and they've got like 50 pairs of underwear. So I mean, we got plenty of underwear. So I'm just wearing theirs until I can go get more. And the elastic went out, and there's not a lot of things that make me uncomfortable in life. But when you put a sock on sideways, it doesn't feel right. Like last night, I was laying in bed, put my boy to bed last night, and I was laying there, and my T-shirt just wasn't on just right. You know what I mean? And it's incredibly uncomfortable. And I was like, what the hell's wrong with my T-shirt? So I kept pulling my shirt out. So I had to get out of bed, pull the shirt down, get back in. But so I got these underwear on, and the elastics come off, and so they're down like around my hip area, and it's just and I got a pair of jeans on that are fresh and clean, and they're kind of stiff, and I'm just not very comfortable. But I'm good.
Are you sure you're not Jewish?
Why the hell am I not?
Is it starting to wear on you?
My schwitz was really messed up this morning. I don't know what that means.
No, that's the great thing about Yiddish. You can make that up. So it's your schwitzfa.
My schwitz was not good.
Really?
I had a hell of a night last night. Flipping animal thing. You think I'm joking?
No, listen, come on, talk. I'm a shrink.
I'm over the animal thing now.
Yeah, I know.
I had an emergency call with Dr. Rab last night from the Rossbridge Animal Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
It's the 3rd time it's happened in my yard, and some people would probably say, okay, well, you need to kill the damn snake.
You do.
So I got this hound that goes down and start barking in the backyard for like 30 minutes, and it was just barking into a hole, and I knew it wasn't a chipmunk, and I was like, okay, it's either a raccoon or something bigger because he won't go in to get it, right? And so my daughter's going to go down. I said, let me go down and take a look just to make sure it's cool.
That was really good that you did that.
We have a little bit of a wooded area. I posted a video last night. There was a copperhead or a rattlesnake, one of the two. Its tail was wagging, so I'm not sure what the hell it was.
Rattle would be rattle.
And so my daughter mentioned that she saw it. She saw the dog back up, and so it came after our dog. And so I was like, get the dogs upstairs, get them out of here, and I'll handle it. I didn't kill it yet because I was just trying to get everybody up in the backyard.
But you could have.
I could have, and my wife is like, "Are you going to kill it, or am I going to kill it?" So I'll kill it. And I'll be honest with you, I don't want to kill it.
No, of course.
I don't want to kill. I don't want to kill. I know it's a poisonous snake. I know it's in my backyard. It's a wooded area. We don't go back there very often. Indian Springs, where my son goes to school, they found a 5-foot rattlesnake. Timberwood or timber pone.
I didn't know that we had. I always thought rattlesnakes were just where I came from.
They're backed by the special equestrians. There's rattlesnakes all over the place because of the storm.
Oh,
Riled them all up. They won't.
I
got an email from the superintendent or whatever they call it there in Indian Springs yesterday saying we're not allowing any kids to walk after dark on campus right
Where's
now.
Dr. Pollard?
Yeah. So I'm like, okay. And so my son's like, yeah. So I get down there, and so I took a video of it. I couldn't see anything, and I'm looking. I showed it to Brand this morning, and I was like, oh, crap. And then you just saw the length of it, in this log, and it's right there, and it's sitting there, and it's got the viper head and all that crap, and I'm thinking, oh, that's kind of cool. I'm thinking I'm trying to catch it. I'm thinking this would be really cool to catch, so I could show it. I don't know, but I didn't have my snake viper pit catcher.
You don't know.
I had a broom handle. Yeah, I had a broom handle.
You can get those on Amazon.
Yeah, I'm sure you can. I had a broom handle, so I'm sitting there, and I didn't want to poke the snake because I talk about you don't want to poke the snake because I wasn't far enough. I was socially distanced from the snake about 7 or 8 feet, and so I didn't want to get too close to it because if it came after me. And then I read up on it a little bit, found out that there's these dry bites. They're not aggressive animals at all, unlike other snakes, venomous snakes. It's not aggressive. It just protects its area, the dog pissed it off to the point where I was like, okay. So we get back up to the house last night, and I hear this, and I look down, and my black dog, which wasn't even near the hole, is throwing its guts up. And I'm
wasn't near. Maybe I got anxious. Scared.
And I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And he's just standing there. I don't know if you've ever seen a dog get bitten by a snake before. They're statues. He stands there with his head down, his eyes are open, and here comes the blood and the pus and everything out of the side of his mouth. I was like, okay, he got bit. And he won't move. He won't move. And he's
kind of a catatonic state?
Yeah. He just kind of, and I'm petting him, and his tail's not wagging. It's like, when you pet a dog that's not friendly, you're like,
yeah.
And I knew he was okay. So I picked him up, put him on a blanket, and I called Dr. Rab. I said, what do we do here?
This is why your schwitzik's all messed up.
Yeah, well, it was a schwitzer kind of day. And he's like, should be fine.
Really?
Yeah, should be fine. Don't have to give him anything in the morning. If he's super lethargic and you can't move, then you need to bring him in because his blood's clotting. But he said it's very rare. He said
because these are non-poison. Is that because these are non-poisonous?
No, it's just that's what happens when. Now, if he got bit by a rattlesnake or something high. Usually, and Dr. Rab's so good, if an animal is just eaten, if a snake is just eaten, its venom is not nearly as potent as it is.
So it's full.
And exactly. And the fact that so we don't really know, and we're not going to bring the snake in and look at it. He said, well, so we'll see what happens in the morning. And he said, and even if it does clotting, we can save the animal, blah, 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 blah. So I said, great. And so our Rainer's like 70-something pounds, 60 pounds, something like that. So, okay, fine. So then I'm going down a hallway, and we got this little white, yappy little piece of work. And I go down to pet her, and she's yelping. And I'm going, what's wrong with you? And then she got bitten.
She got bit, or it was just sympathetic symptoms? Because that can happen sometimes.
She got bit, and I'm looking at her face. She won't let me get her near her head. And she's sitting there on the ground just kind of looking down the floor. She was staring at one of my son's wood trains. I was like, what is she staring at? And it was because she couldn't lift her head. And she was like this. So she was up all night. So I love.
That's why your Schwitzix messed up.
It was just a weird night.
And your underwear straps broke.
And my underwear, my elastic went out last night, and I got a bunch of things that pissed me off this morning. I get on a couple of websites.
Oh, here we go.
And go through all these websites to find material for the show, right? Huh?
You making up for last week or Monday?
Yeah, I'm not gonna allow you to talk at all.
I'm hanging out, man. This is like a therapy.
Hey, do you guys know how many poison snakes in the state of Alabama?
Oh, I'm sure you.
How many different types, or how many number?
Different poisonous snakes. How many?
5 or 6, right?
10.
Six.
Yeah, 6.
You know what state has the most poisonous snakes?
California.
Alabama.
DC.
Really?
Yep. DC has the greatest.
Is DC a state now?
DC, well, it's not a state.
Yeah, almost. And we're getting close.
Well, under Joe Biden, it will be. We'll find out later on tonight if Washington, D.C. is going to be a state, along with $15 an hour.
It has the density of lawyers, lobbyists, politicians, and bureaucrats.
There you go. Very nice.
We do have something here in Alabama. I think we have the greatest number of frog species.
Yeah, we do.
Is it frog?
Yeah, a lot of it has to do with the Cahaba,
Yeah. See?
Going on a camping trip down in Cabo in May.
Are you?
Yeah.
Be careful of those poisonous ones.
Yeah, but I've been back in my backyard. I mean, I've cleared that area out a million times in my bare
goes
feet.
into your
and now all of a sudden I'm like trying to find my snake boots. I'm gonna have to wear jeans.
You have snake boots?
But my wife's like, if you don't take care of it, I'm gonna take care of it. I'm kind of like, so now I'm trying to wonder, do I want to go down there and tell her I took care of it and not kill it? And listen, I want to protect my kids.
Yeah.
But my kids never go down there. It's my dogs. Because it's God's creation, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and for the most part, if you're watching where you walk, you're not going to get bitten by a snake, right?
Right.
And so I'm kind of like, I don't really want to kill this beautiful animal.
No.
I don't.
No.
I'm like, but I want to protect my kids.
Of course.
And I guess I have to protect my pets.
You need to buy. Well, the owl.
It's a cycle of life, man. It's a cycle of life.
Cycle or circle?
Circle,
Okay.
cycle, whatever.
He's
It's
gonna break into
It's
song
life.
right now.
It's life.
It is.
Now, if I get a $1,000 vet bill from Dr. Reb today,
you're
I'm
killing
killing the
that
damn
son of a
thing.
bitch.
I'm killing that son of a bitch. Yeah. But I'm kind of like, I don't want to kill this beautiful animal.
Well, you need. This is that whole thing I told you when I moved here, and I saw snakes in my backyard.
Yeah.
And I was freaking out because I'm from LA, and these snakes should not be here, and we should have them removed, even though I lived in the woods. And the guy who came out basically said, he said, look, you got hawks.
Yeah.
It's a circle of life. He's like, I can charge.
I've got a pet snake.
Why don't you let the pet? No, don't do that.
No,
Just get a pet hawk.
Well, that's what I was saying.
You like animals.
Falconry.
we got we should bring some of your birds over to my place.
Have you ever seen my house? 2:00 every afternoon. It's called the Circle of Death. Literally at 2:00 every
pretty
night.
scary.
It's at 2:00 every afternoon. I don't know why it's 2. You will hear the hawks going, and they'll start doing their hawk thing, and then you hear birds screeching, hawks screeching, and they're going in and stealing eggs. You will also sometimes see snakes flying around in the hawk's talons, all at 2:00 in the afternoon.
It's like a Disney movie, an animated Disney movie, but hell is
Yes.
what it is.
Can we
Birds are not happy. Everything's just killing each other.
right.
There's blood and snakes flying from the
All at
ground.
my
And then he's
house.
got deer coming over and they're freaking out. And it's
Can we all agree that eagles are probably the greatest apex predator in
it's
the
our-
animal kingdom?
They
right?
are, although I learned that relative to certain kinds of falcons, it's like a big bomber versus a stealth jet, right? So it's almost apples and oranges. Yes, they are, except falcons can do some badass, like...
it's our national bird.
I think I read an eagle's talons can crush a human skull.
Yes, I've held an eagle. Well, not held, but I held
Yeah.
on the thing. It's scary.
It
it's
held you.
heavy. It's heavy.
I had the one down at Auburn land on my arm.
Oh, Nova?
Yeah.
I think his name is
Nova
Nova.
9 or something like that. It's like
Yeah.
the 9th one they've had.
All right,
Anyway, so it was kind of a weird thing. And then I find out this morning, you know what they're doing down in Florida, the Keys, down near Miami in that area.
they're getting rid of the manatees.
They're releasing 750 million genetically altered mosquitoes today.
To do what?
They are males. Males don't bite. These males will mate with the females, and when the females get pregnant, their babies die.
So
They're
just
trying
to-
to, they're trying, and you know how I am about
that's
that too.
something.
It's like, hey, I got a
Oh.
lake. I got a lake,
You know
and I
what
got
that
problems
is?
with kudzu. You bring in this indigenous weird-ass frog from Ireland. It comes
Yep.
in and it kills all the stuff, and next thing you know, you got all these
That's right.
frogs that got 4 legs and 2 eyes, and they're killing all your favorite fish. I'm telling you, don't screw with nature, man. We've already messed up nature. Nature will clean itself out. You look at the BP oil spill, I know there's still plenty of the world's got a way of cleaning itself up if we'll just leave it alone. I'm not saying there's not some times where we do need to go out and obviously get buoys and clean up the oil that we can.
Yeah.
I understand that, but everyone said that the ocean's going to be dirty forever. We're all swimming in it, you know, and it's all at the bottom. I understand that. I'm not saying there's not different ways to make it better. But when you start screwing with nature, I'm just telling you, you release 750 million genetically altered mosquitoes. And evidently
happen.
people down there didn't want it to happen. They're like, good, I'll spray the DEET on me. I'm good. Don't be releasing these little mini bombers all over the place. And now, because I'm telling you, something's going to happen. It sounds like a great idea.
It does. We do this all the time.
What are bats going to eat?
I mean, we have
Isn't there any validity to God giving us the knowledge to do that?
I see. This is an interesting thing because I'm glad you said that. You get into you get in this weird place because you're exactly right. God gave us the knowledge, but did God give us enough knowledge?
God
like,
gave us-
did we get enough, or did we figure it out far enough that we didn't screw this one up?
God's given us the free will and the knowledge to kill ourselves too.
That's right. Look what we're doing with what is it? Genetically altered. Well, hell, our fruit. Half of our fruit and vegetables are genetically altered.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah,
big bananas?
we've got the knowledge. When you're talking like the COVID thing, yeah, he's put these really smart people to genetically engineer these different types
But
of
he's also put
vaccines,
the-
which I think is great.
the virus
But we've
itself
also
is-
got people that created crack cocaine.
That's right.
And I'm kind
Yeah,
of like,
I mean, they say God made us right underneath the angels, but he also made us right above the animals.
yeah.
That's right.
You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
we're not
So
above
who's
the
smart?
animals now.
No.
I'm telling you.
I'm telling
There's
you.
a reason why all this crap has happened to me over the last couple of days. And the more I talk about it, the more it's happening.
Okay, now you're getting like that was like the Brady Bunch episode with the tiki.
I'm just
thing.
telling you. I'm just telling you. All right.
Are you going there?
What's that? Oh, by the way, Eve Plum.
She's dead.
No, she's got a birthday today.
Wait, one of them I thought was dead.
Eve Plum turned 63 today. I saw that and I started laughing my ass off this
I thought
morning.
one of them died of an OD.
No, I know the gay father died.
No, I know.
Florence Henderson, I think, still alive. Alice, I don't know if she's still alive or not. But yeah, they're
Maybe
all
Cindy
still alive.
Olsen had a major drug problem.
She did.
That was it. Okay, she's not dead though.
but
She was
didn't die.
59.
All right, so
Is this what you didn't want to get into?
one of these, the Andrew Brown case. I don't even know how you keep track of them anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, the Andrew Brown case, the one in North Carolina. They did an independent study, I guess. The family did. Found out that he was shot 5 times, 4 times in the arm, and then 1 time in the back of the skull, which certainly sounds horrible. And it's like, oh my gosh. And, you know, a lot of people don't understand that when you shoot your police officer, they will tell you you shoot to kill. That's the last thing you want to do.
Because
And
they
then when
don't
you
want
shoot,
you.
you're shooting to kill. You're
They-
not shooting to maim. You're
Because
not
they
like,
don't want you to use it
Yeah.
if you're shooting to me.
you know,
Yep.
if someone comes walking in my house right now and I got a loaded pistol in my hand, I'm probably not going to shoot to kill him because I'm not a police officer. I will try to maim him. Not back off, I'll shoot your leg. You know, if I'm good enough at doing that. Police officers shoot to kill.
Right.
And you would say, geez, why did they have to shoot him 20 times? Well, they're not going to miss. 1 bullet is enough. 20 is going to take care of it. Okay. So when people sit there, let's get past that right now. Why'd they have to shoot him 8 times? Well, you know, normally if you're going to shoot and you're shooting to kill, you're going to make sure he's dead.
Right.
And so you're going to shoot to kill. So, and you got 6 different guys shooting him. Yeah. To shoot someone, it's kind of like, why would you hack someone 20 different times with a knife? That's a little different. Okay.
It's not funny.
No,
Why
it's
am I
not.
laughing? But God, that's terrible.
So
Okay.
the prosecution or the people that are defending this particular case, I guess, for the
Can I
police
just say this
department.
one second? I'm not gonna lie. I got, what did you call it? Schweitzerkick?
You're
I
uncomfortable.
got the same schwitzky.
It just doesn't feel right, right?
Something's not right. We
I
need
know.
new chairs in this place.
My underwear is so far up my ass right now, it's uncomfortable.
Maybe that's what's wrong with my. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So they came out with a character assassination, as his defense lawyer said yesterday.
Oh, okay.
He had a rap sheet that was 180 pages long.
Seriously?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And he's been a drug dealer for 30 years. One of the reasons they were going to find him, and when they came in, there was a SWAT team. I mean, there was guys in the back of pickup trucks getting out of his house to arrest him, right? And evidently they found out there were different vehicles going in and out of his house that were hauling off or storing drugs so he could distribute them in the North Carolina middle. Yeah. And so we have said numerous times on this show, well, was it worth a life?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not worth being dead. He stole a cigarette. He tried to pass a fake $20 bill. He had a rap sheet. He had been arrested before. He held a gun to a woman's pregnant body. Blah, 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 blah. Well, it's not worth a life. Well, I'm going to back off that a little bit because in this particular case, and listen, listen, when I saw, by the way, Saddam Hussein would have had a birthday today. I didn't take joy in seeing him hang from the gallows.
Right.
I don't ever have any joy seeing the death of another human being. I don't care who it is. God created that life. God should take it. And maybe that's God's way of taking that life. We create the people that make the laws that do those things.
That's right.
So I understand it. Is the world a better place? Hell yes, the world's a better place. You can make an argument, is the world a better place that Andrew Brown's not on this earth? I don't know. I'm not the ultimate judge. I can't make that call. So I'm starting to think, okay, well, what is too bad to be on this earth? If you're a crack dealer, you're killing people. Mm-hmm. You're bringing into our culture, and you're furthering the temptation of drug addicts and everyone that is you. And so I'm thinking to myself, and so I was like, okay, so if we go case by case, okay, so what is worthy of a life? Some people would say there's nothing worthy of a life. Fine, fair, good.
Okay.
What if he's already killed somebody? Is that worthy of a life? Okay, well, that's capital punishment. I don't believe in that. Okay, fine. That's fine. But at what point are we finally going to say enough's enough? Because we do have, and I'm not even talking about the outliers of a innocent person who's never been in trouble with the law getting shot in the back of the head while they take a jog down the street. It's happened.
Yeah.
It's happened. Horrible. Should be convicted. We should go through the whole process, and it is. But when you're talking about a guy that they've been chasing down for 30 years who is a known drug dealer and can certainly make the argument that he's killed a lot more lives than his own. And when you're a drug dealer, it's a dangerous job. I've been around drug dealers. They carry pieces and lots of cash. It's not the police they're worried about. It's about other drug dealers trying to knock them off. It's a dangerous job. It's a job you get into knowing that on any particular day, you could be going over to JoJo's house, trying to sell him a gram of Coke, and you get shot in the back of the head, okay? So to see this rap sheet, and again, I don't know if it was political posturing. I'm not sure what it was, but I thought it was really interesting that the police department put this out and said, listen,
this is a bad dude.
This was a really bad dude. So how bad do you have to be in order to have a life taken for it?
That's right. So
if he's doing his homework and doing it right, he's probably still dealing drugs and crack this morning. It's a dangerous job.
But so that's
he's got a wife, he's got kids, he's putting them in harm's way.
But where do you listen? So you're getting into. I mean, you're not only getting into the sort of legal part of the way that our society in this country is structured. You're getting into legal and our morals and values, right? And you can make the argument either way. You could say exactly what you said. This was a really bad dude, and as a result, him losing his life is not that. It's not. It's horrible, but he was a really bad dude.
There are people right now that are protesting his shooting and the way it was done, that are saying that it should not have been his life, yet they're the same ones that are applauding when they see a known drug lord get shot in the back of the head. And I'm going, wait a minute.
Because here's the thing.
Because they weren't directly affected by it.
No. Also, you're walking down a path which we all have to walk down. I mean, we got to make these decisions as a country. This is, I was trying to think of another way to say it. I can't. This is the slippery slope piece, because we've tried to set in place for our law enforcement that you only use deadly force if, right? And there's all, if imminent threat to you, you can use deadly force, or imminent, meaning in the moment, deadly threat to somebody else, right? Then we talked about this, and actually they just had one here locally. I sent you the thing about the high-speed chases. Okay. So I get what you're saying, and I understand it. What scares me about it is if we go that route, how do we create barriers before it gets, well, he was a drug dealer with 180.
We don't.
Well, but that's to me. So the way we do it is, so think about it. So that's partly how we are where we are right now. I don't care how many things you've done that are terrible. The only time I'm allowed to shoot you as a police officer is if you pose an imminent threat to me or someone else. To me, whether it's good or not, it definitely makes it easier, more clear cut for a police officer than, well, it depends if they've had a rap sheet or if they're a drug dealer. I mean, we have to make these distinctions. We have to. Otherwise, we have no distinction. I mean, think about laws. This is the problem with laws. A lot of law. The death penalty. We got people on both sides of the death penalty, right? We have people who are saying they should absolutely die. We have other people, and the way the law's written, we're doing our best to try to figure this out. And I think what ends up happening is, do you cross over from legal to moral, philosophical, right?
I'll be honest, I don't know what that line is.
I don't either.
I don't know what that line is, but I do know that I'm getting tired as a black, a white, a Chinese, Jap. It doesn't matter what my color skin is. It doesn't, because I know white people have been shot too. But I'm getting tired of seeing these guys and girls being shot by police officers, and then I find out that they're really bad dudes. And then we're all of a sudden making them martyrs for taking down and again, the police department are the only ones that know the rap sheet. The police I didn't know this guy had 30 sheets of run-ins with the law.
That makes it so much easier for us, right? That's an easier it's easier for us to wrap our heads around, oh my God, this was an innocent person, or I'm sorry, this was a person with no history, right? No rap sheet, and they were mistakenly shot. It's for us, that's a terrible thing. The scenario you just described is super hard for us to figure out where do we land in it.
Maybe just be careful about what you get behind. If it's just because it's a black person or a white person or a person of your particular culture that's being shot, and regardless of what the situation is, you're going to stand behind that, then I actually respect that. If that's what you're going to do, you're going to be for all human life. And much like a lot of people are going, think about how many innocent people are killed every single day on our streets and no one's talking about it. And that's sad to me, because there's a lot of good people out there that haven't done anything wrong. And they're getting
that's not a.
I know, but you're certainly people are probably going to say that.
I think unless you're a police officer, you can't have a legitimate opinion about what they feel when they're in a situation like that.
No, you can't have. Yeah, you. Well, you can't have a legitimate opinion about how anybody feels, but you're absolutely. I mean, I agree with you. I don't.
But he doesn't have a choice. He knows that guy Andrew had 180 pages. He knew that he doesn't care about life.
Oh, you better be careful there.
No, the police officer
knew
that Andrew doesn't. 180 pages. You think he cares about a human life?
He could.
Probably cares about his own. He cares about his daughters and his wife.
See, this is what I'm talking about. No, this is where it gets super sticky. We're going to talk to JP Dice about bias in forecasting. This is the whole idea. Obviously we want police to have that information so they know the situation that they're getting into. It makes total sense. But from my perspective, I think it's really interesting. Does it change the way, not that you approach the situation, because you have to be more cautious, but I would assume, not knowing this for sure, that a police officer would not say that just because he or she is a bad dude, in the moment, I'm thinking I should kill them.
Yeah.
Right? At least we hope. Right?
I don't think any police officer, at least the ones I talk to,
right.
I think they're good cops. They don't ever want to discharge their
of course
their weapon. They don't, because first of all, they're going to be investigated. They're going to be put on administrative leave, even if they're
Right.
not found guilty of anything. They do not want to. And for the most part, and there was a police officer on last night on Fox News, a black police officer that came out and said, "Listen," and he was talking about the LeBron James situation, the fact LeBron James still hasn't apologized for him calling out this cop who evidently looks like the shooting was validated in Columbus, and they're still going through that whole process. But said, "Listen, man, we have trauma. We have to go through therapy." He said, "I've shot 2 people, and it screwed me up so badly.
Yeah.
But I did it in order to save the life of another human being, and I had to do what I had to do. That's my job." But he said, and he eventually got out. He said, "I couldn't do it anymore. Knowing that every day I could go take another human life, it was horrible." And I think a lot of police officers.
Tony said it though. He was a drug dealer, right? He didn't care about people's lives.
He cares about their lives, but he cares about them in a different way. And I'll say this.
What does that mean?
But it
What are you
doesn't
talking
matter.
about?
But see, but that's the thing. I don't agree with you. Let's say he didn't care about anybody's
They
life.
don't always understand the ramifications of what they're doing because they've done it for such a long period of time and they've got such a clientele. I've got
not caring about people's lives.
That's too broad. It's too broad.
Yeah.
They may be insensitive towards the feelings of other people. I've seen them deal drugs to people that they knew if they gave them drugs, they were probably going to die.
Demi Lovato's drug dealer. I mean, you
exactly,
could make if we could go there and we could say, okay, if you're a drug dealer, you don't care about other people's lives. I mean, we could say that if you deal drugs, then by definition, you don't care about people's lives.
And they look at it more as a business transaction that I'm providing a service to people that want it.
Liquor sales.
And if they want it, they're getting it from a guy they know. They're getting it from a guy they've known for a long period of time.
Right.
And I'm a pretty good guy. I used to have a good friend of mine, and I used to tell him all the time, "You're a great guy trapped in a drug dealer's body."
Yeah.
It was the only way he knew to make money. He made enough money to provide for his family. His family knew what he did. And I would go, and I go, "Dude, you're such a," and he had a good heart. He would do good
But
things.
he would, I mean, we see this story all the time. Here's an opportunity for you to make $1,000 instantly to feed your family.
Yep.
Instantly on the first deal, or you can go try to find a job which might pay you, minimum wage. I'm not even.
I know what the right thing to do is, and
That's right.
I know we want to go pull up your bootstraps and go work at
Right.
Walmart and start your life over again. Well,
Right,
good
but
luck.
here's $1,000 because my family's got to eat. Like so again, we're going down that path where, and to me, this is what the hardest thing that we have to do as humans. We have to sort of make, if we're going to have laws and rules, we have to make distinctions that almost universally screw some people over.
Yep.
Almost universally. It's hard to make a distinction that works for everybody all the time. And we don't make laws that way. We don't make laws that way. We don't make rules that way. This was the hardest thing. I had this, in my training, it was individual training, right? I'm trained to help you. And when I started doing public health or population stuff, I had a hard time wrapping my head around it because if you think about the way we treat in terms of laws or populations, whether it's health or it's money, we don't care about you. We only care about how many people you represent. If you as an individual represent 60% or 40% of the population, then we care about you.
Yeah.
And that's how we have to move forward.
The big part of this Andrew Brown thing was that he was shot in the back of the head. Obviously, that appears to be, people call it execution style. He wasn't on his knees. It wasn't a situation where it was, and so people need to check it back a little bit. Well, he was shot 17 times. Why did he get shot 17 times? Well, you probably had 5 different police officers. They're all shooting at the same time. That's going to happen. I understand that. And then from the other standpoint is there's no good place for a bullet to enter a body.
Can I say...
they're not going to go, well, he was only shot 4 times in the arm. That's much better now. He still died, but at least he wasn't shot in the back of the head. You're going to get shot. You're going to get shot. There's gunfire everywhere. My whole idea was I'm getting a little frustrated by repeatedly seeing people getting shot, which is not a good thing if they don't have to. We've got to create this net or this taser thing or whatever
the foam
it is.
thing.
Most of the times,
Marshmallow.
most of the times they are running.
Yep.
They're trying to make sure that they're not arrested. They're fleeing a particular thing. They're being told to stop. They don't stop. They're not doing what they're asked to be doing, and then they end up getting shot. And it's unfortunate. I don't take any pleasure in seeing any life taken. I don't. Do I realize the world's a better place and Saddam Hussein's not on it right now? Happy birthday, by the way. Yes, absolutely. I understand that. It's a God-given thing too. But in this particular case, when I saw this rap sheet, I was like,
You know what we're doing, man.
you know, and I can't help but think there were people probably protesting, holding candlelight visuals outside his house going, I never knew.
Yes. Right.
They're standing there with their 3 kids. They're going, well, Mom, Dad, this guy was a crack dealer for the last 30 years.
Then that gets back to the same thing.
You know, and so it's, you know. All right, so there were 2 teachers. I'm not even going to talk about the first one. There was a teacher arrested that was.
Sometimes I think you make this up.
There was a teacher arrested. I don't know where it was, but they found cocaine in her desk drawer.
Okay.
And she was arrested. And one of the girls' mothers, or one of the girls that had her as a teacher, loved this teacher. And evidently, this teacher had tenure, and she was a great teacher.
Yep.
Okay. And she had coke
They
in her
don't pay
desk
them that
drawer.
much.
And I thought it was really cool. The mother of the child's like, where's my teacher? Why did she get arrested? Blah, 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 blah. And she said, listen, we all make mistakes. But when adults make mistakes, they're usually a lot bigger. And so we don't have time out for adults. And so we're going to go find help for this individual. So she hopefully can come back and be another teacher. And even the mother of the child said this was a really good teacher. She
Dude,
was
that's
a
like,
great,
but I have to tell you, that's like what you hear on Sesame Street.
I know,
That's
right?
like some Sesame Street Mr. Rogers.
Evidently, this was a really,
Okay.
you know, okay. So, but the other story I think was very interesting.
Wait, is that it?
No, this is the better one.
Oh. Wait, no, but that other one, that was it?
No, I just got another one.
No, but the one you just read.
Yeah.
That's it? That's the whole teacher of the day? That
No,
one?
I got another one. I just
On the same person?
No, it's a different one.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So this one
If
that
you shut the hell up,
but
I'll
the
tell
one,
you.
The one you just read, that was it. She didn't have sex with anybody.
No, I just told you I'm not going to get into it
okay,
because it's no
great.
big deal.
Okay, no,
Teacher-
great. You make me feel good.
No, the teacher of the day doesn't have to always be sex.
It always is.
There is one about a 15-year-old.
There you go. See? Okay.
So are we talking about another teacher or the
Yeah,
same
we're
one?
talking about another teacher.
See, that's
Shut
what I
the
got
hell up
confused.
so I
Okay.
can talk here.
Okay, go ahead.
So evidently, this teacher is,
Which one?
is having class.
The one with the
And-
cocaine problem?
And the daughter comes home from school one day and
Yeah.
says, my teacher drinks margaritas at school.
Wait,
And-
I'm sorry. Virtual or in person?
No, in person.
Okay, good. Because
Yeah. She drink well, the virtually doesn't count.
You just have a
We know
little-
teachers are drinking margaritas from home. Hell yeah. Hold on. Yeah, they're popping pills. They're doing whatever it takes. So the mother writes, hi, Mrs. So-and-so. I hope you had a great weekend.
Probably.
Jillian came home twice this past week saying you were drinking margaritas in the classroom during school hours. Surely this can't be the case, but I wanted to reach out for an explanation before I elevate this to administration.
Oh, I love the word elevate.
Why are you talking about this during class? Where would he get this idea? See you tomorrow.
That's like, you know what that sounds like what my mom would have done.
The
I
teacher,
love that.
She did that the right way.
no, she
Instead
didn't. No. First of all, she didn't allow the teacher to explain the situation before she made the threat of elevating it to the
Well,
administration.
she said before, I see her. I'm agree with Brandon.
Yeah.
It was
didn't
like,
go
I'm
out.
calling you out.
This was a vague threat. She
Yeah.
could have easily said, "Hey, listen, now again, I don't know what the relationship
Right.
is with the teacher and the parent. I'm assuming now that we've helicopter everything around here and we see our teachers virtually throughout the year anyway. That most parents, I would hope, to like to think they know their teacher well enough to know if they're going to be getting drunk at school. I had a teacher that was drunk for my son, Santo. He was in first grade.
Oh, I was trying to
His
think.
teacher was getting drunk during the day and letting him run the class.
Like Santo?
He would come home and go, yeah, the teacher left the room
Well,
again for
Santo's
2
pretty
hours
smart.
today.
He probably- yeah.
Well, talk about some trauma as a 5-year-old, 6-year-old.
What I'm saying was, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
You know, he likes being interrupted. What I'm saying, she didn't blast it out on social media and
Right. So it was better than horrible.
right.
I mean, I'm with you, Brandon.
No,
I
she
wanna-
put it out on TikTok.
Oh,
She did?
she did
Okay. All right.
at the same time.
Yeah, she wrote the note and she posted it on TikTok
Oh well,
to
then,
the teacher.
yeah, she's a pretty terrible
Right.
person.
Welcome to
And
Sunday.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So the teacher was drinking some type of seltzer water
Mm-hmm.
that was margarita flavored.
Love a good seltzer.
It said at the bottom, tangerine margarita flavored. It was on her desk.
Okay.
And so the students saw the word margarita
Yeah.
and was
Did
like,
you say how old the student was? Just I mean, I guess old enough to know what margarita was.
say, yeah,
Okay.
they were old enough to read the word margarita, which should tell you something about the parents. Gee, because most kids don't even know how to say margarita.
I wonder if she would have done the same thing if she was eating a margarita pizza.
Or I got margarita flavored jelly beans down here. My daughter was like, "What's this word?" I said,
Do
"It's
you know if you
margarita."
put
She
them-
goes, "What is that?" And I said, "It's an alcoholic thing, but it could be non-alcoholic.
Yeah.
It's just it's a flavor of a jelly bean."
Yes.
I put them in my kids' Easter baskets. I put margarita flavored
you
jelly
really?
beans in my kids.
You're a bad
Now I
dad.
threw out the bourbon and the Jack Daniels flavored
Those
jelly
are
beans.
good. They're good.
They're nasty. So anyway, so the teacher came back and said, the way she said it was very, I don't want to read it, but she came out and she was very, very politically sound. And she said, "Listen, it's a margarita flavored type of thing. Sorry for the miscommunication, blah, 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 blah." And it was let out, but it was seen by 700,000 people.
See, that's
a lot of people are pissed off that this woman, the way she posed the
Yes.
question. Before I go to the principal and talk about your situation, I'm going to allow you to explain to me why exactly you had, not even giving her the benefit of the doubt, particularly if this is a good
agree.
teacher and she's got tenure, that she had something called margarita flavored whatever. When I was at home with my kids, I think were in first or second grade, I would drink orange juice with dinner, and I would call it a virgin screwdriver.
Mm-hmm.
And so my son went to school, and when they asked him what he wanted for lunch, he said, "I'll have a virgin screwdriver."
That's amazing.
And the teacher said, "Pardon me?" He goes, "I'll have a virgin screwdriver." And she kind of laughed. She calls me and she says, "Hey, by the way, your son ordered a virgin screwdriver today at school." And we laughed about it because a virgin screwdriver doesn't have any vodka in it. And I
That's
said,
right.
he's looking for an orange juice. That's what he knows orange juice as a virgin. I said, "You can just call it OJ or orange juice." He goes, "Okay." From that point on, we had no problems. In this particular case, assuming the teacher had no priors or any issues with the kids and she's a good teacher, and it appears she is, then in this particular case, just because she had something margarita flavored didn't mean it had alcohol in it. But the fact that this
Is the mom
parent
getting
did-
slammed?
Oh yeah.
Good.
Let me ask you this, Josh.
Good. No, I'm glad. Go ahead. Yes.
So, and this kind of goes back to the weed smoking thing that we talked about, I think, last week. If a teacher is completely functional and good at her job, and she drinks or does crack or whatever, and she gets caught, but she's good at her job and it doesn't affect her job, is that just, I mean, how do you?
Well, first of all, we get caught, so I think it gets interesting.
Well, let's keep it with alcohol. Let's keep it with something legal.
Okay. And if she's
I suppose, yeah. She's doing lines off the
Yeah.
off
But
the
she's
blackboard.
chalk.
We
But
got
she's
to
got-
let me turn that
chalk.
blackboard
Chalk.
sideways for a minute, and then she turns the other way and starts writing names on it. Yeah,
God,
we got
she's-
issues.
She's just able to go all.
Never seen a
damn
blackboard that was
day.
a giant mirror. That's amazing.
No,
They do
so I
they
think,
do turn sideways.
You know,
by
so
the
the
way.
legal stuff is, I mean, that's the thing. If it's legal and it doesn't impact her job, then this is where it gets interesting. You wouldn't know.
Sure.
Right. I mean, that's the whole thing. We wouldn't know. So the way that the only ways that you get in trouble in your job is either it's impacting your ability to do the work, or in some cases, depending on your job, if it's a public persona, that kind of thing, you're misrepresenting, you're not appropriately representing the company, right? So your job is 24/7 because you're the brand. So what we do get, I mean, you get this all the time. You and I have talked about this. You do get functional, I don't want to say functional drug addicts, functional people who are addicted to a variety of sorts of drugs, who are able to hold it together for the most part during the day or when they're doing their job, and they're somewhat a mess or a lot of mess at home. And where you see it, particularly with parents, I've seen this a lot, is everything is good, and then mom or dad comes to the recital. And, they're not falling over. They're not falling over, but they're standing up, and they're clapping.
Well, let's not even talk about it. Let's just talk about the one that smells like alcohol, but they're functioning fine.
Yeah.
They got a bender last night. And again, I mean, pilots can't do it.
Right.
Teachers can't do it.
So-
It could have been 12 hours ago. If you're so infiltrated with alcohol and you still smell like alcohol when you get to work, don't go to
The
work.
smelling part.
You
So
can't-
I
you can't
think
do
it's it to your point. Can you do your job? Yes,
Sure.
unless part of your job, and very often it is part of your job, is to appropriately represent the company. It's always a part of your job. I mean, yours is in a different area because you were out doing Senior Frog, Jello
Sure.
dancing stuff.
I had to come to work with alcohol in my breath, or else I'd
That's
get
right.
fired.
I mean, but I used to with stuff with the university, depending on different media outlets. If I did something with a media outlet, and even if what I said was not inappropriate, if the media outlet was kind of like, I would get called out on it, and basically it would say, look, you can say what you want, You can do what you want, but your part of your job is to represent us, and we don't like the way you represented us.
Let me give you one more situation.
All right.
All right.
Heroin?
Say no.
Okay.
Say you're in a corporate job and you smoke weed. Okay.
Mhm.
You get caught. Boss is like, can't do that.
At work.
At work.
Okay.
But you perform well when you're you're high, right? You're a go-getter, right? You stop smoking weed. You start kind of losing your
Mojo.
mojo. As a CEO, as a boss, do you allow him? And you're in a state that it's legal. Say you're in California or Colorado. Do you allow that person to smoke again? I
think most this is one of those ones where I would assume most corporations. Well, I would say most corporations do not allow even legal alcohol drugs, although some of them will have like a wine hour. I think it's the same.
It depends on the job. It depends on what the position is.
I think it's the same thing because that's the whole point. You know what they would say to you is, well, particularly if you're in California, edibles. Are is that a gummy bear? Yeah, it's a gummy bear, but it's a different kind of gummy bear. I mean, that is, well, here, look, let's go here. What about people who are on medication for a variety of problems? ADHD, for example.
So if it's a medication, it's a medicinal thing. You pretty much might have to let it go. I think just speaking for corporate America, if you're smoking or imbibing anything during the workday, you're on my time, can't go.
Yeah, we don't.
And that means not coming to work smelling like alcohol, even if you don't feel like you're drunk anymore.
And even if you're performing well,
because
this actually gets back to some of the things we were talking about. It's a call that we have to make, right? We have to make a decision. We could go either way. We could say, hey, look, as long as you're able to produce and do what you need to do, then do what you need to do. That's one way. I think and then the other is they're
working third shift.
Tony, did you perform well when you were on that booger sugar?
Well,
did you just say booger sugar?
Yeah, he did. What, did you see this nose? No, I mean, radio was a totally different animal. I mean, when I got my DUI back in 1990, I got applause when I walked in the lobby. Now you get a DUI, you're done. I mean, it's a different world.
You talked about rockers.
Well, sure.
I can't.
But if I also have an employee that feels like they can't compete and provide the company with what I need at the highest level because they're doused, then we're going to have bigger issues down the road.
Yeah. I mean, I would say that
it's rare. A functioning alcoholic is a rare thing.
Exactly. Because by definition, alcohol is not for medicinal purposes, but like you said, the ADD, by definition, you should be able to do your job, whatever your job is, under the rules of your employer, which most often includes no drugs at work, whatever those are, even if they're legal. And if you can't, and we say this all the time, then this is not the right place for you.
And let me just say this.
Or maybe maybe it's not the right job for you.
And let me just say this too. There's 168 hours in the week. I'm asking for 40.
Yeah. But I get what
you get the full weekend.
Valid
you want
point.
to take a day off. You get vacation time. You want to take a day off and go get blasted with your buddies, knock yourself out. But I got my 40 hours here, and I expect you, from a corporate standpoint, again, it depends on what the job is. Maybe you're in a creative thing. I know painters are obviously different, or people roustabouts or whatever.
Fumes.
That's fine. It depends on what you're doing.
Well, and the difference is if it's your set, things would get
I
interesting.
want a doctor showing up to my surgery, and he had a bender 12 hours ago, but he's sober.
Yeah, they do.
Well, I know a lot
They
of
do.
these cooler like startup businesses have bars.
Yep.
In the they have a break room and they have a beer hour.
Well, that's kind of what I'm with you. It is. I think you walk a super fine line as an employer. Let me tell you, I work with young CEOs in some of these startup places, and they're late 20s, early 30s, and they're used to going out, getting drinks and doing whatever, and they get into their work environment, and the job's getting more stressful, and it's more money, etc., and they'll take days off just to drink, not to go on a bender, just to drink, and if I'm someone who's underwriting that company and I'm investing, and I'm looking at you going, I need a drink. Yep. I need a drink. I need to get high. I need. That concerns me, particularly if it has to do with your ability to work. Even to your point, Brandon, even if it's your ability to do better in your job, not just okay.
We must be doing fantastic because my phone is like nonstop scrolling right now from social media, so people are reaching out to us. So
Because of
good.
the cocaine stuff?
Probably about everything we're talking about this
Maybe they're
morning.
looking for a drug dealer. Can you even talk
Probably
about
because I was wondering who this is on the third mic because I'm not on camera.
Yeah, it
could
is
be.
weird. He's like this.
The best looking guy is not on camera.
Well,
Well,
you know,
Yeah.
we know why that is.
He has obviously a
I
huge
love Joe
following.
Rogan. Yep. I love his podcast.
He has created a new platform for podcasting where it is incredibly raw and it's just him, and he gets a lot of guests on. Of course, he does a lot of UFC fighting stuff, and he did television, so everyone knows who he is.
Do you think I'm not trying to? Do you think he is like, because we don't the Howard Stern that we loved? Like, do you think because his demographic that he draws is young, super young, all the way up? Do you see him as? I mean, he's not the same, but is it like? Do you see him like Howard Stern?
I wouldn't say he's the king of all media like Stern was.
Okay.
I don't think Stern is at that point now, but I think they're just two totally different
Okay,
things.
okay,
I think,
okay,
Stern,
okay,
Stern's getting old.
Yeah, no. I'm just thinking because
He's also
Rogan
making
pulls
$120 million a year.
Rogan pulls such a age-wise.
Yeah.
It's not just old people.
Evidently, he's catching a lot of flack because he recently said that if you're healthy and you're young, you're a 21-year-old, you ask me if you should get vaccinated, I would say no.
Yep.
And of course,
He also said, don't do any. I was reading now. Don't do anything stupid.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what that means, but don't do anything stupid. But no, I don't think so.
Yeah, and a lot of people are saying that he's got a responsibility because he has such a following, that it was really stupid that he said that, and that if we're going to get through all this crap, obviously he's not affected by it. If anything, his numbers are going up because more people are listening to podcasts more than ever because they're at home and they've got more time on their hands. And so, and we were talking about this before we got up this morning. I'm to the point now where anyone could say whatever you want. You threw out the thing, is it okay to say whatever you want as long as you say this is my opinion? Everything's your opinion. That's what you.
Not everything's your opinion.
For the most part, it is.
Well, yes,
If you're saying whatever you
no,
say
you-
is your opinion, is what your thoughts are, and that's an
Right.
opinion.
So
that's
no,
your opinion.
you are absolutely right. I take that back.
So
Everything is your opinion.
Yeah. So and the way I look at it is, if I'm listening to Joe Rogan and I'm on the fence on whether I'm going to get a vaccination, and I'm not getting a vaccination because Joe Rogan said that if I'm healthy I shouldn't get it, then I'm an idiot.
Yeah,
I
but
mean, we all want control, and we want our own willpower, and we want to have our freedom to do whatever the hell we want, and we're going to listen to Kim Kardashian or Joe Rogan or Donald
we
Trump
do.
or anyone else and do what we got to do. That's ridiculous.
But
to
I
me.
want for this last year I've lost my faith in humanity moments.
Yeah.
What you just said to me is so important, because what you're saying is, look, Joe Rogan would never influence.
I like Joe. But
I
who the
know,
hell cares?
but guess what? I got a reality check for you. There are thousands and thousands of people who would go and say, I was thinking about it. Not 100% Joe Rogan. I was thinking about it. But yeah, Rogan says if I'm healthy. Yeah, I don't do anything stupid. And Rogan said that, yeah, it's in his opinion, yeah, so I'm going to. There are lots of people who how do you think we've got all this crap going around about the microchips being implanted by Bill? So my point is, you would never do it. But there are thousands of people who do. That's why they're influencers.
Yep.
I mean, that's just, look, the IQ of people is on a bell curve.
Yeah.
There are, and then most people are right down the middle, average, and there are a lot of people who are not, and that's not just my opinion. There are lots of people who are out there, and they listen to a guy named Joe Rogan. And Joe Rogan, in his defense, he did not say, "Do not get a vaccination."
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He said, "Don't worry about this."
But that, to me,
it may be semantics, but
no, it is. I don't. Here's why I was angry at what he said, and I blew up in a text to you. Here's why I was angry. It is your opinion. Fine. It's free airways. You can say anything you want. We always kid on this show. We always do this. We're like, I'm not a surgeon, but.
Yep.
Right? And we kind of make fun of it, but at the same time, while we're making fun of it, I'm like sweating because I don't want to say things that I don't know about. And so the thing that I don't like that he did is he said, this is my opinion, but. And when you're on that kind of platform, you do need to think about what your opinion means And to be honest with you, the people who were there was tons of people supporting him, and the people who were blasting them were among people, doctors, physicians, epidemiologists, people basically saying, dude, don't say that, because if we said that about polio, TB, etc., we'd have the problem. So I'm disappointed.
But he is sticking with his formula of being Joe. And the reason that Joe Rogan is so successful is because he speaks his mind.
I get it.
And so
your mind's wrong. That's the problem.
I try to think in my life, because back in my early days of radio, I listened because they didn't know what the hell I was going to say next. What's Tony Curry going to say next? What's Tony? And as you get a little older, and maybe Joe will do this too, you do realize there are some things you believe that you think to yourself, I probably don't want these thousands, or in my case, tens of hundreds, that are going to follow and do the same damn thing I'm telling them to do, because they're such idiots.
Yes.
And I'm sitting there standing over the cliff looking at them going,
yes.
yeah, I told you to jump and you did it.
Yes.
And so is there a response?
I think that's a
moralistic thing for Joe
yes.
that he's going to have to deal with. Is Joe going to save lives by telling people to get vaccinations? I don't know.
Yes.
Is he going to kill people by telling people not to get vaccinations? Perhaps. I think that's one thing that was so polarizing about Donald Trump, was there were so many people going, what's he going to say next?
Right.
Because I'm going to do whatever he tells me to do.
Which is sad about you.
Which is really sad. Yeah.
What's sad about you? I mean, whether it's Donald Trump, Joe Rogan, Joe Biden, anybody. And I think the thing that got me even more riled up was when I started reading the comments. And
the fact that this affects all of us.
That's it.
If he's talking to one individual, this is what you should do, this is what I would do, and someone ends up off of themselves, that's one thing. But when you're talking about, okay, if this person doesn't do this, this is going to affect me, that's where it kind of pisses me off, because it is a movement. Yeah.
And that's, to me, that's the part where I get frustrated, because this is what I texted you. You can have your opinion, but this is about, how do I say this? This is about math and virology and biology. I mean, the whole point in all of this, and we're having such a hard time with this, wrapping our heads around this whole idea of herd immunity, and we all need to get vaccinated so that the variants don't pop up. All these things, we're really struggling with this, and I'm not. Again, I wasn't pissed at Joe Rogan for, he said it's my opinion. He did all those kinds of things. I was disappointed, because that's one of those ones where, as you're speaking, you could have thought, maybe I shouldn't go here because of all the people. Here's my thing. Don't play ignorant.
Yeah.
Don't, and look, who did this first? Charles Barkley.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a role model. Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Yes, you are. By the nature of where you are, you're a role model.
Yeah.
People listen to you.
Yeah. There was also a private school down in, I think it was Miami, where a husband and wife.
Did you see that?
And basically told their teachers, do not give that. If you have not gotten vaccinated yet, please do not so, because we don't know how it's going to affect the non-vaccinated kids in this particular school. And it basically said that if you get vaccinated, you'll probably lose your job.
Yes.
And it's a private school. They can do whatever they want. It's like $30,000 a year. And I'm going,
I was blown away at that.
Yeah. So we're not only saying, this is the place that says we won't serve you if you do wear a mask.
Right.
This is the total opposite direction. If you don't believe in that, it's fine. But when you sit there and say we're not going to serve you if you're wearing a mask, that to me kind of takes it to a different level.
I sometimes have conversations with my mom. My mom grew up in.
It's frustrating as hell.
It is. My mom grew up in polio days.
Yeah.
And I asked her, like, what happened? Because all she saw had friends who were on the iron lung.
Mm-hmm.
I said, what happened when the polio vaccine came forth? And it had taken a long time, but it was new. I said, what did people do? Like, did people? She's so funny. It was with all innocence, Tony. She's like, we just went and had the vaccine.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, weren't people? I said, Mom, weren't your friends? No, we just had the vaccine because the physicians and the doctors and the vaccines, and we saw that people who got the vaccine didn't get polio. I mean, can you imagine if every vaccine?
And what does this? I mean, what does this say about the medical world? Because I'm not even going to go politics. If you want to go political, and say I'm not getting the vaccination because of political, I kind of get that.
Yeah.
But what does that say about the medical world as we know it? That we have trusted. We take Benadryl. We take. Most people are on 3 or 4 different meds a day.
Yeah.
And have no problems. Well, I got diabetes, so I'm on this anti-diabetes. They have no problem taking that. They have no problem is taking all the medicines that we've had out. The only reason that they're copying an attitude on this vaccination is because it was done in such an efficient and expeditious type of way. And again, if I'm going to go get my lawnmower fixed, I'm going to take it to a lawnmower place. If I'm going to have brain surgery, I'm going to a brain surgeon. If I want to get a vaccination, I'm going to let the smartest people in the world tell me, like God created. I'm going to have those people create that thing. And I know we turned it around, but we had every doctor in the world working on the same thing at the same time. And that's why we got it done.
And it's not perfect. Nobody's saying it's perfect, but I actually like what you just said. Think about when you go to a physician. And there are definitely people who don't do this, but a physician will say, okay, we took your blood work and you got diabetes and you got hypertension and you got high cholesterol. So here are medication. Well, they'll typically say, here's some things that you need to do different in your, you need to eat better and exercise and stuff. And we want you to take these pills. And these pills have been shown to reduce your blood pressure and cholesterol.
Look at the side effects on these commercials. You may vomit. You could lose your brain. You could have blood clotting. And you're like, I'm taking it. But you're not going to get a vaccination. What the hell?
The side effects I love commercials when they may cause
a list of things. You're going to have irritable bowel syndrome. You're going to be puking your brains out, but it's going to take care of your diabetes.
That's right.
And then you're going, I ain't getting this vaccination because they got it too quick. I mean, I don't get it.
That's the part where
I would wonder how many people that are staunchly opposed to getting a vaccination that take 4 or 5 different pills every single day just to live. Like, well, you believed it there. Why don't you believe it here?
And the scary thing for me is, we've talked about for years, you should be a good informed consumer about medical care. And it's super hard because for most of us, I don't even care how much education you have. It's like going to, I'm going to say my physician friends, it's like going to a mechanic.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know the ins and outs of cars. And so I place trust, but you're supposed to be an informed consumer.
I'm 30 pounds overweight. I eat 16 Big Macs a week. I also imbibe and have a bender every Friday and Saturday night, and sometimes I'll shoot up heroin, but I ain't getting that damn vaccine.
You know
that
what?
thing will kill you. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
But that is, and I think one of the things we've seen in this pandemic, and I'm gonna link it to the police thing too. We're seeing the way things really work in science, in medicine, in law enforcement. I'm not saying really being bad, but there is it's not. We've always thought physicians for the longest time, it's all truth and magic and miraculous, and they can save lives, and they can. But the vaccination thing was to me, it was the funniest thing I've ever seen. People going, it went too fast. It went too fast. They rushed it through. They didn't rush it through. They just stopped everything else.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, and that's the thing. And I can understand if you're like, well, okay, how'd they get a vaccination? They didn't have one, 4 months ago. Well, they made a pivot. And that's the thing with a guy like Joe Rogan or anybody out there saying it right now. It's like, be careful, because what you say does have it has an impact.
I would get that anti-venom for my dogs, but I'm not believing it yet. So I want to make sure. I want to see what
You just
happens.
don't want to spend the money.
You don't want to. You don't like your dogs anyway.
You've been bitching.
I have
complaining
4
about
of
your
them. I
dogs.
have 4 of them.
Actually, I'm sorry. He's not been. He's biatching.
Biatching. Are they male or female?
Hell, I don't know. I haven't looked up their skirts lately.
Do you all know? I just want to say.
Can't keep track. I think they're gender fluid. Actually, I think my dogs go both
Those are
ways.
your fish. Those are your fish.
No, I think
you
all
have
my dogs.
I've never met anybody except for some crazy cat people who have more pets in one house and that are not just dogs.
Yeah.
Like I've never. Do you have birds in there?
No, I don't have any birds.
Have you ever had a bird?
Long time ago, we had chickens. Those are
aren't
birds.
Those aren't birds because
Yep.
I mean, this
We
guy
had a therapy chicken that we bring in the house. Used to lay eggs on the
that's
couch.
Right, because he laid eggs on the couch. Is that a mess? I mean, if you sit
It's
in,
not really as best as you
do they lay eggs? I've always
I had one laying the egg in the car because I thought it was going to poop, and so I put my hand behind its ass, and an egg fell into my hand.
Is there any sort of like moisture that comes out with that?
It's a little gooey. It's kind of like when a puppy dog comes out. It's kind of like
That's what I mean. So when an egg comes out, it's got like
Afterbirth.
Yeah. Does it have afterbirth?
Yeah, it's the placenta egg. It's the egg of the placenta.
Does it really come out?
No.
Is it a delicacy? Okay.
It's scrambled right during lunch.